Hi everyone, Sarah Pacaro, hypnotherapist and rapid transformational therapist, helping you go within your inner mind, break free, and really do that inner work to healing after having been in toxic and unhealthy relationships. And these relationships are a lot of fun if you've ever been in one, or multiple like I have. You know what I'm talking about, and you're like, So what do? How do you handle this? Well, the first thing is establish and stick to boundaries with these toxic people. They don't like boundaries. They do and they don't. They like them because now they know exactly what to cross to get to you, to impact you. But then they don't like boundaries because if you do your part in establishing a boundary, then there's a consequence for that action that they're going to take. So often we have this unconscious idea that we are held hostage, and that's what it feels like. And in my last marriage, I felt like coming home, even though it was a big, beautiful, gorgeous home, it felt like a prison. Like I felt like I was held hostage, and that person was like the warden, like making sure I was like checking back into prison on time, if you know what I mean. We feel like we're held hostage to anyone who wants to talk to us or interact with us. We feel like we have to. You can say no. You can walk away, especially to anyone in your life who's being overly demanding of your time. And that's what they do. They're like little energy suckers, vampires of your energy, space, and time. And it's okay. It's like, for example, you can say if the narcissist or toxic person is hogging up all of your time, say it's on the phone. I just had a consultation with a lady who said, yeah, and then he got me to like listen to him talk for 5 hours. Like literally 5 hours. She finally told him, I'm done, I'm moving out. She had her keys to an apartment, and she started packing up and moving all of her boxes. And prior to that, he didn't believe it. And he went, yeah, whatever, sure. And then when she actually did follow through with what she said, right, she established a boundary, and then there was a consequence. She said, this happens again, I'm moving out. And then all of a sudden, she gave him 5 hours of her time. Because he's like, she's told me the same sob story that I had heard myself and everyone I work with. Please, come on, don't do this. You don't want to do this. You're making a huge mistake. We can work on this. We'll get better. We'll go to counseling. All of this stuff. If that toxic person is taking too much of your time, you are the one. You are the one allowing them to have your time. So understand that, know that if it's on the phone, just simply hang up the phone. You don't have to tell them, I'm getting off the phone now. I'm done talking to you about this. I don't want to talk to you about this anymore. We've talked about this time and time again. Don't tell them that you told them. Just hang up the phone. Boop. Little red button. You don't have to say, oh my God, we've already spent 3 hours on the phone. We're not getting anywhere. I'm done with this. Well, be done with it. Hang up the phone. Stop giving them your time. In most cases, the best thing to do, if you can, I understand you can't, if you have kids with them, I wish I could, but you can't. Don't allow them to contact you via your cell phone. This is a big thing. We're all addicted to our cell phones today, and it's a very impulsive, reactive kind of thing. There's notifications, little dings, and everything. If that toxic person can contact you via your cell phone, it feels more intrusive and invasive, and you get that impulsive response, that need to reply right away. You don't have to do that. Just don't allow them to contact you via your cell phone. Do email, right? We get crap email all the time, so maybe they just email you. If they really need anything, you'll notice that contact go way down. So use empathetic validation if you need to confront a toxic person. Okay, what does that mean? Empathetic validation, what it means, it's a fancy way, like the fancy language and way of saying butter up your criticism. This is fun. It's actually quite fun. It's kind of like a game. Butter up your criticism with a compliment first, like a little sandwich, right? In fact, this is good for anyone. Oftentimes, criticism is better accepted in the form of a sandwich. So think about your favorite sandwich, right? Maybe when you were a little kid, it was peanut butter and jelly. Compliment is the bread. Peanut butter and jelly in the middle is the criticism, the constructive criticism. The other slice of bread is the compliment. So compliment, criticism, compliment, right? And you may have heard this before. When I used to teach, we would say this again. Or when you're giving feedback, right? Nobody likes feedback, but when you're giving constructive criticism and feedback, put a pretty fancy little word on it. And then this is especially important when dealing with toxic people, with narcissists, because they are ego driven. And anytime they hear that compliment, right, the bread on the outside of the sandwich, their little mind goes, ha, look at me, I'm good enough, right? Because they perceive everything as an insult. So when you can divert and direct that and give them a compliment, their little ego is like, ha ha ha, right? And then boom, constructive criticism. And then boom, the the good part again, right? The criticism, or not the criticism, the compliment. I'm sorry, compliment, constructive criticism, compliment. It kind of gets them to focus, because everything to them, everything they perceive as an insult. So when you're not insulting them, you're instead, complimenting them. They're like, oh, something's off here, something's wrong. You can get their attention even for just a split second when you do that, when you use empathetic validation, big fancy term for just, say something nice, add in what you actually need to say, and then say something nice again. This will help. Not in every case, but it'll help a little bit. Okay, here's the next thing. TMI, right? You've all heard that term. Too much information. Avoid TMI. Avoid sharing too much information with a narcissist, because it's like getting arrested. They can and will use it against you. And you may think it's not possible. There's no way they can use this against me later. They will. And you say this jokingly, right? Like TMI, because when someone discloses personal information, sometimes it's a bit too personal. Remind yourself that TMI with a toxic person, with a narcissist, is about anything that's personal. Even if it's like, oh, I went to this really good restaurant for lunch yesterday. Even that can be TMI, and that will be used against you. Oh, really? Who'd you go with? Huh? Yeah, I knew you were out there whoring around. I knew you were out there slutting around, and you're going, what? I just stopped there on my lunch break at work. I literally had 20 minutes. I went in and I got it to go. I just shared with you, I just went to a really good restaurant for lunch yesterday. And then even that, something as small and simple as that can be TMI. They can and will use it against you. And they're going to sit there, yeah, look at you, you're lying. I know that you didn't go there alone. You never go anywhere alone. I know that you went there with blah, 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 and just, right? TMI. Don't do it with them. And you may think, well, how is telling them where I went to lunch TMI? It is. Try it. You'll see. They're going to take it and put a complete spin on it and make it something it wasn't. And then you're going to be left just feeling angry and frustrated really at yourself because you listened to me and then you went and did it anyway. Never, ever, ever assume any of your personal struggles are going to be treated with care by the toxic person, by the narcissist. In fact, sharing anything with them, even as something as simple as where you went to this really good restaurant for lunch yesterday, anything where you're seeking any kind of compassion, any kind of validation, will likely cause them to disappear on you, to go completely silent. And you hear this and you've probably experienced it yourself. You get the silent treatment. Anything that they perceive that you need them, that you need validation, you need compassion. I had this recent experience, and it was something to do with what our common child needed, and it was something that needed to come from him. It's legally put in the documents, in the paperwork. It has to come from him. He signed agreeing to that, and it was like this little carrot that he felt that he could dangle above me. Keep it very businesslike, very transactional, very factual. Don't tell them that you're riled up or at all, give them any kind of emotion, that you need validation. Did you hear me when I said I needed this? Right? It just tailspin. So don't share TMI. Keep everything very businesslike, very factual, cut dry. It's going to be very dull, dry, and boring. Don't make the mistake. A lot of people do this because the narcissist is a human, and you are a human, and you have feelings, and you have empathy, and you care. Do not ever, 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 you'll learn from it if you do, make the mistake of assuming that the narcissist cares. They care about one thing. Don't ever assume that the narcissist has genuine feelings or that they care. This is one of the toughest rationalizations for a kind, caring, loving, compassionate person, and it can be so hard to believe that another human is that cold, that callous, that calculating, because we have a tendency to go into denial about this sort of thing. But try to drill this into your head. Narcissists don't care. They don't care, 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 they don't care. Don't make the mistake of thinking that they care. Just because you care and just because you want them to care doesn't make them care. So remember that. You're only going to allow yourself to be open to hurt if you go down that road. No drama. You know that song? No, no drama. No, 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 no drama. Right? I think it was Fergie or Black Eyed Peas. Good song. No drama. Let the narcissist games roll off your back. Like, see it. Narcissists are experts at games, experts at drama. And I remember in the early stages of the last relationship, I used to say, why? I don't want to play games anymore. Just stop playing games. I don't understand why we have to play games all the time. And the response was, I'm not playing games with you, right? Yes, they are. They're going to tell you they're not doing what they're doing. The extremely talented narcissist even goes a step further. They stir up the drama, they get other people involved with the drama, and then what they do is they sit back. Wow, look at you. Really? They sit back with this smirk and this look on their face, like they had nothing to do with it. It's like they've gone in, they've shaken and stirred everything up, and then they sit back with that nasty, evil smirk on their face, like they had nothing to do with it. For example, like if you have a narcissistic mother, they stir up animosity and rivalry between the siblings, between the family, and they would say one thing to one sibling or family member, and then they would say another thing to the other sibling or family member, and then you, maybe as person number 3, get put in the middle and you get triangulated. See that? There's 3, triangulation. And you confront the mother about this, the one who was the culprit of all of it. I didn't have anything to do with this. What are you talking about? No, don't you see that's among them? And then you get pulled into it, sucked into it. You get aggravated, agitated that your mother or this person would do such a horrible thing. Like, why would you do that? Don't get sucked into the games like this. That's what they are. See it for what it is. Don't get pulled into the drama. Don't get sucked into the drama. Just, I'm not available right now, right? And I've done a video on boundaries before. If you didn't see that, you can go back and watch that. Don't second guess yourself. That's the next one. With a narcissist, do not second guess yourself. You have that gut feeling, that inner voice, that intuition. And you learn. It's a learned behavior from the time that you were a child. We're not going to go into that today, but it's from the time that you were a child, that intuition is turned off or dimmed or turned down. And you know what's right, and you feel it, and you know it. But you end up second guessing yourself with the narcissist, and they're amazing. They're experts at getting people to question and second guess themselves. You don't ever need to justify yourself to a narcissist. They're going to make you feel like you have to, because then it gives them more power and control. That's the game. That's the game they're going to play with you. And it's all about making you doubt yourself and your perceptions. That fun little phrase called gaslighting, that horrible, horrible, horrible manipulation tactic that they use. Gaslighting is exactly that. It's getting you to question yourself, doubt yourself, second guess yourself. When they engage in this, what they're doing is they're playing a psychological manipulation game with you. It's that technique on a very simple, basic level. It goes like this. So, narcissist does something selfish. What don't they do that's selfish? You confront them about it. And the narcissist twists the events around to make it seem like you were the selfish one. You were the bad one. They're experts at what they do is reframe reality. They shape, they shift, and they reframe reality to make them look good and you look bad. You look like the crazy person. And this is extremely infuriating and confusing. Don't let it happen. Stick to your guns. Listen to that gut feeling, that intuition, that inner voice that tells you something's off here. Don't proceed, right? Don't even proceed with caution. Just don't proceed. Here's the thing. Remember, with the narcissist, it is not personal. It's not personal. It's not personal. It's not you. It's them. It's not personal, and it never was. You truly, in their sick, twisted life, are a pawn in their game of life. You're just a little pawn that they move around, disposable, dispensable. And if it wasn't for their abuse, it would have been someone else. If it wasn't you, it would have been someone else. You're not the one who's going to magically come in and love them enough, love them out of being a narcissist, love them out of being the toxic, vile person that they are. It's not personal. If it wasn't you that they were manipulating, gaslighting, triangulating, hoovering, all that stuff, it would be someone else. You're not unique and special to them. And this doesn't feel good to hear, but you're not. To them. You are as a person yourself, but you are not that to them. I hope that you are able to make that distinction, make them clear. This seems cold and callous, but it is just the way it is with them. You didn't do anything wrong. You're not crazy. You're not the narcissist. There's nothing inherently wrong with you or bad about you, even if you've been a victim of narcissistic abuse. So understand that it's not personal, and if it wasn't you, it'd be someone else. And you've seen that if you have moved on and that person has moved on. new supply came in and filled the very spot that you used to have. So you know this and you've seen it. Fact checks, right? Facts, right? We could be like facts and figures, right? Okay, narcissist, you're telling me this is what happened? Okay. You're telling me that you were here on this day, this time, with this people? Do a reality check. After a narcissist spins a story, pull out your little facts and check them, because you're going to notice one thing. They're off. They're not the facts. Narcissists are liars. They lie about lying. And not only are they liars, they are good liars. You're like, how? Everyone in the world believes them. They're good liars. Part of the reason for them being such good liars is because they don't feel guilty about lying the way that other people do. I can't lie. You get me to lie and my face goes red, my palms start sweating, my chest gets all red and blotchy. See, it's happening now. You're like talking about like, I'm not a good liar. And naturally good, kind-hearted people are not good liars, but narcissists are experts at lying because they don't feel guilty. I can't even say the word lie without feeling guilty and feeling like, oh my God, you caught me. They don't feel guilty the way that other people do. So when the narcissist lies, when they tell you something, especially about someone else, because it's never going to be about themselves, it's always about someone else. It's someone else's fault. Someone else is to blame. That is very upsetting. Take a deep breath. Oxygen is what we need to live. And you'll notice that when you get into this state, right, it's that trauma state, fight, fight, flees, fight, fight, flees, right? And you, it's hard to breathe. So stop. Before you do the reality check, take a breath. That's for yourself. Check out what they have said that they claim to be true, because it's a lie. Before you get sucked into that drama, remember the story about the narcissistic mom I just shared. Pull out your facts and check them and go, really? Because this is what you said right here. No, that's not what I said. What I said was, and you'll notice, boom, the story shifts again. Here's the next thing. When you want to save yourself, don't try to one-up the narcissist. Losing game, not a fun one. One of the worst things you can ever do with the narcissist is try to beat them at their own game. Here's the thing. Let's say, last narcissist in my life, 39 years old. This person has been playing this game for 39 years. I don't play that game, but I played it with him for a certain number of years. They are experts at playing their game, so you're not going to beat them. It's like they've got all like the secret passcodes. They know all the codes to win, all the shortcuts, and all the ways to like bypass different things. If you think about it kind of like a video game, one of the worst things you can ever do with a narcissist is try to beat them at their own game. Don't show off with them. Don't think you're better than them. Don't brag. Don't boast. Don't otherwise try to make yourself look good in front of the narcissist. I know, I actually, it's kind of funny because, right, I'm a woman. We wear makeup and get all pretty, right? Because, like, I want them to, like, think I'm pretty and, like, want me back or compliment me, like, when they come to pick up the kids. When I go to drop off my daughter now, I literally, like, still have eye boogers and, like, all the crap that's, like, around your mouth and eyes from waking up. I'm like, come on, girl, let's go. Gotta go see your dad, right? Don't try to one-up them or impress them. You're just going to end up upsetting yourself. Narcissists are the kings and queens. There are some females too. It's not a male-female thing of self-grandiosement exaggeration. If you try to compete with them, they are sitting up on their pedestal on their throne. You try to compete with them, they're going to just knock you down again and again and again. And you're going to end up feeling like a loser. So don't even play the game with them. And this doesn't mean that you should act like this sad little, like, wilted flower that just got crushed on, right? And it doesn't mean, like, slink around them and, like, bury your head. And no, like, stand confidently and just speak to them, very businesslike. This is where working on your inner confidence, your self-trust, your self-esteem comes from. So that you can just be as natural as possible. Very factual with them. Like, okay, got it. You're not going to wilt around them, but standing tall, standing in your presence and who you are and not caring about them or playing the game that they're going to try to pull you into playing. Here's the next thing. Get away from them. Get away from them. In the short term, maybe you're still in the relationship or whatever it is, but make a plan. Make a plan to get out. Make a plan to get away from them. Consider separating yourself from the narcissist as much as possible. Even after the relationship, if you have to stay connected because of kids, then do extreme limited contact. Like I said, don't allow them to connect to you via your cell phone. just email or maybe one of those parenting apps. If you're still married to them and you have kids, consider the long-term effects of the emotional abuse. A, that it has on you, and B, that it has on your kids. Don't stay for the kids. Now, this is not said to make you feel guilty if you have, or it's too late. It's never too late. Get as much time away from them as possible and use that time to work on healing yourself and getting a healthy support group and system. And there's different ways that looks. Maybe it's one-on-one, maybe it's healthy family members, maybe it's healthy friends. Maybe if you don't have any of that available to you, then maybe it's a healthy online support group. Here's the last thing. Here's the thing they hate. Being ignored. They hate being ignored. They don't like it. When they send you those emails and you don't write back and you think, oh, did that get to them? Did that even bother them? It does. It does. And it'll come out. It's kind of funny when it does. They thrive on triggering and getting reactions from people. This is how they gain power over you, especially when you lose control. When you just, when you go up, they love it. Because it told them that they win. So ignore them. When they go on and on and on and they start the attack, the most effective way to deal with them is ignore them. Do I understand that this is so hard to do? Yeah. And I'm human and I mess up too. But it is challenging, but they love this. They have an intuitive way of pushing buttons on people. And they don't just do it to you, they do it to everyone. Deep breathing, like I said, stop. Take a deep breath, stand up tall, walk away. You don't have to respond immediately. Can really, really, really help. It can help you keep your cool around the narcissist. So you may have noticed this theme in these recommendations. The theme in a nutshell is keep your cool. Keep your cool. And tell yourself that. I'm good. I'm cool, right? Maybe you're going to walk away and just like punch your pillow or something. Don't punch a wall, that'll hurt. But do something, but don't let them see you lose it in front of them. You got to get these feelings out, right? And they're very challenging. It's much easier said than done, and I know that. But in general, the best thing you can do for yourself is reduce your emotional reaction to the toxic person, to the narcissist in question. Yeah. They love to push your buttons, and they love to see you. So, lots of things help with this. Of course, getting into your inner mind, your subconscious mind, the root of the problem where it is for you, reprogramming, rewiring, installing and instilling more confidence, more trust, more belief in yourself massively helps. But these tips are just kind of to knows until you get to that place where you can do that inner work and you can continue to be around supportive, loving people who understand your journey, who get it, and know what you're experiencing this. Just know that. Know that the narcissist in your life does not define you. Okay? If you take anything from this, know that. The narcissist in your life does not have to define you. Just because you had this experience with them does not mean you're ruined or it's too late or there's nothing you can do about it. There's always ways you can improve your life. And it starts with not giving them your power and knowing that they don't have to define you. Cool? High five? Yeah. Awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you guys as always for tuning in, checking this out. And if you are in that space, in that place, and you're ready to go inside your mind, figure out why the hell did this happen to me, and break that pattern, that cycle, that trauma up, and then I'd love to connect. So reach out. You can email me, call me, text me, whatever it is. My information's on my website. We can schedule a time to work together or chat more. Thank you guys.